Hey guys, here is today's update. I went to my first psych appointment post-election, so that was good. And she said something to me that literally nobody else has said this entire time. She said, "You seem a little bit better to me than the last time we spoke." And so I had to pause and I said, you know what? I think some of my depression is getting under control. We've upped my Prozac many a time, and she upped it again today, and that's fine. So I feel some of my inherent optimism coming back. I feel like some things are a little bit clearer. I don't beat myself up as much for things, small things, because nothing that I'm doing is large right now, and that's okay. But the one thing that is still wildly out of control is my anxiety. So she's switching me from Xanax to Klonopin. Why is it important that I'm telling you about the rundown of my medications? Because most everyone you know is on one. And it shouldn't be weird. It's it should be normalized. It should be normalized like taking cold medicine for when you have a cough. By taking that cold medicine, does that mean that you're never going to have a cough again? No, but it's going to help you in that moment, and it'll help you get better. You know, do you still have to go for your regular checkups? Of course you do. Does anybody to you, when you cough and say, "Oh, I'm just not feeling myself," everyone goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me know if I can get you anything." And it's not a big deal. Well, the same thing should happen with mental health. I've said it in a couple of my posts, but I feel very strongly about it today because I had a great conversation with one of my best and oldest friends, which is also a big deal for me, actually talking to somebody outside of my like 3 or 4 person group that I have kind of put around me. But you know, she and I both have issues, and we have lots of friends who have issues, and you know, some of her family is going through issues, and there's this sense that if you just get on the right medication, it's gonna fix it. If you check into that mental institution, which has its own bad connotations, if you know, then they'll fix you. If you go to rehab, then you'll come out fixed, and that's just not the case. And for anybody who thinks that way, I challenge you to look into it, because it's actually quite harmful to those of us who do have a mental disorder or going through any of this stuff. You know, and I include addiction in that because, you know, I have it in my family on both sides, all sides, where, you know, I think everyone has been touched by it. And there's no fix. There is just, you know, the daily, one step at a time, sure. There is, you know, check-ins that you have to do with yourself and with your family, and you know, and my family is allowed to say to me, "Hey, how are you doing on your medications? You seem a little this or that or whatever," because I don't always catch it myself, or if I, you know, when I do catch it, it's a little too late and I've gone a little too far off the deep end, and things like this happen where I have a kind of complete and total mental breakdown, and my life stops. So at the end of this, at the end of my journey to get back to my normal, am I going to be fixed? No. I'll never be fixed, but I'll be my normal, and that is good enough for me, and it's good enough for the people that I love, and am I going to have to change doctors sometimes? Am I going to have to change medication sometimes? Am I going to have to continue to up a dosage, or, you know, maybe go down because something else is happening? Yes. and that will be the rest of my life. And I would like to be able to talk about it without people's eyes getting wide, or without, you know, people immediately treating me differently, because it's a big part of who I am, and